You can't walk down the street now, anywhere in Ireland, without being known. How is it dealing with that? How is it having to give your time? Because there are so many people who know who you are.
I'll tell you what, for a period of time, it was messing me up. I was like, didn't want to go nowhere. You know, not that I didn't want to go nowhere, but I just was like, it was always, it's an event to go somewhere. I can't just go somewhere and do something, and now I don't give it. Now I am going places, you know what I mean? Like when I was in LA and when I was in Vegas, and we were planning on coming back and saying, right, this is gonna be insane coming back. I need to figure out how I'm gonna come back. And then I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be too heavy. I can't come here and train, fight camp, and it's just gonna be too, like I'm in a fishbowl or something. Then I came back, and I was like, I love this place. This is my home. When I walk into the gym, there's a lot of kids, a lot of things I have to sign, and people ask me to sign, take pictures. But that's okay. I help build that gym. I help build that place to what it is. That is my home. I feel comfortable in there, no matter what. Like, people will be sitting there videoing me, or I see that sometimes when I'm just sitting there and eating food, and I see a guy holding the camera like that, trying not to make eye contact with me, but he's videoing me eating food. And before I'd be like, I can't, that freaks me out, but now I'm cool with it. It's okay. Are
they all positives? Is they all positives, really?
Yeah, it is all. I mean, not everyone's positive. Not everyone's, you know what I mean? Not everyone's happy to see a man succeed. As wrong as that is, but not everyone is happy to see another man succeed. So that maybe was in my head a little bit too much, and I kind of let that play into me a little bit. But now I put my feet up and I relax. I have a good team of people. I have a good setup. I feel free to go anywhere with no hesitation. Before, I'd be like, all right, I want to go into town. I'd be like, you know what I mean? It's a bit too, am I ready to be, some people just drag out you and just, you know what I mean? Then that's a little bit heavy, but it's not too bad. People are understanding. Most are fans, you know what I mean? That's a great thing to walk down the street and see a little kid and he's a fan and he's shaking. And the other day we were in Nando's eating food and there was a girl sitting right there and I just turned around, she's bawling, crying. Like literally in tears, crying. Like I was something from One Direction or something. So it's good. It's a good feeling. You know what I mean? So I tell myself it's a good feeling, and it is a good feeling.
Jose Aldo. Do you have any feeling that he may not turn up on the night?
Don't think he'll be there. I just don't think he'll be there. He didn't show up the last time. We'll see.
Have you just got a hunch, a feeling that he just doesn't want to face you?
Yeah.
Is it based on history? He's pulled out of 5...
History, eye contact, words, mind frame, even his gym, his training approach. I just don't think with all those things combined that he can make it to the contest. But if he shows up, I feel I will KO him inside one. If he makes that walk and if he is in the octagon, I feel every single movement I make will get an overreaction off of him because he's emotionally invested in it. There's too much in it for him. The whole country of Brazil, it's all piling on him. So I feel if I just go, he will react a million times too much. That's what I see the fight playing now. I feel him overreacting, overextending, and then being KO'd unconscious.
You're not the champion yet.
I am the champion.
Well, you're actually the interim title holder at the moment.
I'm a 3-time world champion.
At the moment, you're the interim featherweight champion, and at the moment, he holds the belts.
At the moment, I'm the Cage Warriors world featherweight champion. I'm the Cage Warriors world lightweight champion. I'm the UFC 145-pound featherweight world champion.
But when you beat Jose, you become the unified champion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he has one, I have one. My one's, you're only as good as your last one. His last one.
15 months ago.
Who's the champion? Who's the champion there? So, interim, take that interim out of there. There ain't no interim in this. I'm a world champion. He's a world champion. We're gonna find out who's the unified world champion. Don't put interim in there, I don't like that. Reebok sent a load of gear over and I said interim. So what the is that interim doing? I'm like, I showed up, he did not. Look into my eyes, little man. Little Brazilian. Ooh, vamos, hey.
What happens if you do lose to Jose Aldo?
That is not in the equation. That does not process in my brain for 1 second.
Can you not allow yourself then as a fighter to go into that?
I could try,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't even happen.
Is
I
there
couldn't
a-
even try and feel that if I tried my best. It's not gonna happen.
Is there like a safe that's in your brain that's locked and it just doesn't
I don't
open
know.
that door?
I'm not a neurologist. I'm not a neurologist. I just cannot see it. I cannot feel it. So
It's fascinating that there isn't a chink of doubts, a chink of light that allows doubt into your mind over those
Yeah.
things. Where does that come from,
I don't
Conor?
know, just from what I see, what I feel, what I know.
And presumably all the hard work you put in that we don't see behind the scenes as well, Pete.
I feel I'm only warming up.
But on December the 12th, in the evening, when we're all leaving the arena, and we're coming to see you at the press conference, what are we going to be saying and what are you going to be saying?
You know what you're going to be seeing? Something nice. Something nice material.
And where's it going to be?
What do you mean, where's it going to be?
Where's the material going to be?
I mean, I'm draped around me. Fitted perfectly.
What's going to be around your waist?
You're going to see the belt right there, right on the stage. You're going to see a banged-up Brazilian. Hopefully we see that. Could be somebody else. But you'll see me there with a gold belt, a brand new custom-made suit, and a smile on my face. Poor as I went on, the amount of media obligations, the amount of times I felt like I was a monkey in the zoo, locked in a cage, and they feed me a banana and tell me to dance. So I overcame a lot of adversity and a lot of hard work to get to that octagon. And then you're talking what it was. You're talking of the arena. You're talking of the weigh-ins the day before, the amount of people that came out and traveled. Like I said, post-fight, that stands to me, Gareth. I'd never, ever forget that. I'm grateful for every single person that's been supporting me on this journey. And then the gold belt, the real check. Now it's the real check. The rest aren't real checks. This is the one where I can do what I've been dreaming of doing. Giving back to the people who have given so much to me. That is why the emotion came out of me.
I know you lived with Mum and Dad for a long time. You're very, very close-knit family. There's a lot of love in your family. You know, you're the apple of their eye, I mean, of your whole family. I understand that you gave back to them after your last fight as well.
In my home, like many other homes in Ireland, the real stress and the real fights come from the mortgage, come from the stress of home. A lot of people are getting evicted from their homes around here. So that's something that I've grew up with. That was a big stress in my family. It caused a lot of stress, so I just wanted to give it back and help out and just do that. And just, my mother and father are still young. Now they have their feet up, they can relax, they are in a new place, so it's good. That's something I always dreamed of. I always visualized what giving would feel like, giving to people who have given to me, what that would feel like. I always dreamed of just showing up one day and be like, here. There's not a day that I wake up and do not pinch myself and be grateful for everything in my life.
You ask Conor McGregor and he'll tell you he was destined to be the best fighter in the UFC.
I knew everything would happen. You always hear, I cannot believe it, I can't believe it, but I could believe it and I did believe it, so that's why it happened.
In fact,
bang in the middle of Dana and Lorenzo's office. You know, Dana's office is there, Lorenzo's office is there, and my office will be bang in the middle.
growing up in Dublin, a big office wasn't in his plans. He was more concerned about taking out the bully on the block.
There was many times where I fought, and there was many times where I backed down. So I was no different than any young kid. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
McGregor started boxing as a teenager and quickly moved into mixed martial arts. He witnessed his first UFC fight in 2009 and said, "That's what I want to do." He quickly rose up the ranks and found himself in the UFC and hasn't looked back. His last loss was in Ireland in 2010. As one of the two biggest stars in the sport, I asked Conor who would be most proud of his accomplishments, his father or his mother.
I think they're both equally proud of me. I mean, to see their son achieve their dreams, they're both big fans of what's happening here. My father is a big fan of the sport since he saw my success, and You know, he showed up at every fight, and then my mother has, I could be doing anything and my mother would have my back.
27 years old and living the life he always dreamed. His fans call him the Celtic Tiger or the Irish Ali. They even say the UFC stands for United for Conor.
This story has never been told before. There has never been another man in this position, even in this sport. You know, before me, no one had a registered a win inside the octagon, let alone headline events, let alone win world titles. So,
coming off his knockout win over Mendez, the featherweight finally gets his chance to fight champion Jose Aldo in UFC 194. It'll take place in December in Las Vegas. Conor is already a 2-1 favorite.
What else can I say? He went running. Now he claims he's back. We'll see. I'll be there like I was there July 11th.
The former plumber from Dublin is right where he thought he would be, even challenging boxing's pound-for-pound king Floyd Mayweather. He recently told The Guardian he'd dismantle him in seconds in a fight that would generate $500 million. Who knows? But that's why they're united for Conor in the UFC. Chris Matthews, 8 Sports Now.
There's no talent here. This is hard work. This is an obsession. Talent does not exist. We are all equals as human beings. You could be anyone. If you put in the time, you will reach the top, and that's that. So I am not talented, I am obsessed.
Give it up for the notorious Conor McGregor!
There's 2 things I really like to do, and that's whoop ass and look good, and I'm doing one of them right now, and Saturday night I'm gonna do the other.
I'm gonna wipe out everyone in this division, I said that, and I will do it.
He's a little short-ass twerp, and I look forward to punching a hole in his face.
I'm gonna hand him my spit bucket, tell him to go back and spit shine that belt, and bring it back here as they're ready for me to take it. I'm sitting up here with my feet on the desk. What's anyone up there gonna do about it? Not one of you are gonna do anything about it.
Conor was born in Dublin City in one of the national maternity hospitals here, 12th of July 1988. Midwife turned to my wife and said, this guy is going to be a boxer, because he came out of the womb with his fists clenched. So he was destined to be a fighter, I think.
I had many fights growing up, as most young boys do from where I'm from and around this area. Get into fights. I won some and I lost some.
When he went boxing, I remember he turned to us and says, "Why didn't you put me in boxing earlier?" He knew that was for him.
Conor first stepped into my gym when he was about 16. Conor did stand out early on in that he could hit hard, and he also had a, let's call it a gregarious personality.
I was thrown into a plumbing trade. Give a about plumbing, didn't know anything about plumbing. I just went on that site because culture told me that that's what I have to do. I'd done it for a while, and then I realized this is not what I want to do. It's like, this is not what I want to do, then what the f am I doing it for? And I walked out, 18 months in maybe.
There was a concern there for us, for his mother and father. We didn't know what he was going to do, to be honest with you.
Early on, obviously didn't know what it was. I couldn't look to my mother and say, hey, this Irish man done it. I'm gonna follow in his footsteps, because there was no footsteps. I had to create my own footsteps and follow them. They were a little unsure at first, but they supported me, and they knew I would do it. If I said I'd do it, so.
I was actually in Ireland, and people kept coming up to me and talking about Conor McGregor. Have you ever seen Conor McGregor fight? Have you ever heard of Conor McGregor? Well, I came back to Vegas and talked to the matchmakers, and they had heard of him. So I flew him out from Ireland. He and I went out to dinner. He told me he's on what's called the dole, which is basically unemployment over there. When I left that dinner, I said, I don't know if this kid can fight, but if he can even fight a little bit, he's gonna be a huge star. There's only 9,000 people that can get into that arena in Dublin, and it sounds like there's 90,000.
It was a phenomenal.
It's where everybody expects you to win. I don't know, is it something that are you just very good at kind of making sure that you don't know that everybody expects you to win, or does that matter? Does it add extra pressure that there's a weight of expectation?
Well, you're gonna know, you know what I mean? If people are, like my next opponent, people are writing this guy off, you know, he's a tough English man. A lot of people are writing him off already, you know, so I don't really play into that, you know what I mean? You just, again, focus on your training, focus on what you've been doing in the gym or on the pitch, so to speak, you know what I mean? So just don't believe your own hype, you know what I mean? Go out, keep calm, and the performance will come, you know what I mean?
You've obviously got a special relationship with your coach.
Yeah.
Like he's considered to be the guru of the sport in Ireland, really.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about him?
Yeah, man, I've been with John since day one, you know, with my coach, and he's a genius when it comes to this thing, when it comes to unarmed combat. You know, you wouldn't know looking at him, he's a small guy, you know what I mean? But he'd tie you up in a ball, and he knows the human frame like no other, you know what I mean? So, but again, he builds my confidence up and makes me feel like I'm better than, makes you feel like you're better than you are, you know, and without me actually knowing, you know, that he's actually trying to do that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, not too forward, like, but building up your confidence on a subliminal level nearly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what
John always put it to me is we can change this, and do something that people haven't seen before, you know what I mean?
Talent. He wasn't necessarily more talented than anybody else, and I trained some pretty high-level athletes before I met Conor as well. But what made him a little bit different was I could see right from the beginning he was very curious about how jiu-jitsu worked and how martial arts worked. Whereas some guys might come in and they'll train hard when they're in the gym, and then they'll kind of switch off, go home and do other stuff. I could see Conor was pretty early on fairly obsessive. He would be always thinking about it outside of training, and when he came into training he always had kind of interesting questions, or he was always questioning what I would show him, and he'd maybe come up with his own way of doing things. So as a coach I've noticed that over the years that the guys who tend to get better quicker are ones that are thinking about it a lot more.
I know growing up and all, when I was really young, it was always something I thought about, you know what I mean? I had some situations where people would say something or something would happen, you know what I mean? And I was, you know what I mean? I felt like I needed to be able to defend myself, you know what I mean? You know, so walking down the street and something happens and someone starts something, you know what I mean? I walk by a group of people and they're saying something, and things like that happened a few times, you know what I mean? And then I said, right, yes, I'm going to go and train. If anyone says that to me, then they're going to know about it, you know what I mean? That's how I started. I remember walking back from school, walked by a load of blokes, some load of youngsters, and I was just on my own, little kid, my school bag on. And he started saying something or whatever, and I just turned away, and then he came running at me, and I just ran off. There was about 6 of them. So instead of going and bringing my school bags, I emptied out all my school bags, and I had like a dumbbell, you know, a weight off a dumbbell. And I took that out, took the weights off the dumbbell, and I just stuck the dumbbell in my bag, and I always used to walk home with the bag a little bit open, ready to go. In case anything happened, I was just walking to school with no school books, and no nothing, and then walking home with nothing. Just walking in with that little barbell. And I used to have a little joke, and I'd plan what would happen if I came across or if something happened. You know what I mean? I had a little routine. Like even there used to be a punch bag at the back, and instead of going out and punching it, I used to go out and hit it with the barbell, just like that. Because I knew it was a big solid steel bar. I just wanted to hit them enough so I could get away and get myself to safety. I just got into it. Not really. I didn't care about sport. Like I don't care about sport fighting. I still really don't. I didn't get in it to be the All-Ireland champion or the world champion. I didn't get in it. I just got in it so people would say, right, this guy can do this, or this guy does a bit of training, or does something. We'll just watch him, or we'll just leave him alone. That was how I started doing it. And then it turns out I was good at it, you know what I mean? And that's it. I just got lost in it then, and it became more than just that. I met Tom Egan, who was the first Irish guy in the UFC 93 when they came to Dublin. He used to teach me how to grapple, I used to teach him how to box, and we'd have a little scrap at the end of it. And then I'd do that for a while. I'd stay up here from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then come home. And then we found out he knew about John's, or had heard about John Kavanagh's straight back gym, and you can go and actually train properly in a gym, like not just in a shed, which is what we were doing.
Yeah, Conor, like at the beginning, he went through a really good spell. He was competing well, he was training hard. And then he gets to get into those kind of late teens, problem years, when he was 18, 19, 20, and maybe he went a little bit off-road, and we kind of missed him for about a year in the gym.
And that's it, I just was in and out of the gym, and I'd come, I'd fight, then I'd off for 2 months, then I'd go back, you know what I mean? That was the kind of relationship I had. And then one time, my first loss, he put me as the headline of one of the shows, John did. Everyone would kind of hear that I was doing this new thing, this cage where you can kick and do magic. I mean, that's kind of, so a lot of people come out to see me, and I don't know, I felt a lot of pressure, and it was funny because where my mind was then, and I was kind of like anticipating a loss, you know what I mean? You nearly know you nearly tell yourself if you're going to win or lose, and these are the first time, but those losses kind of helped me realise about the mental side of things, and compared to what way I am now, compared to what way I am there. Like anyway, I ended up losing that fight. It was like my fourth, I think it was 3-0. I went to 3-1 there, and then I don't know, I had tickets to sell as well. You know the way you sell tickets for the show, and it was my coach. But I was getting tickets at 30 euro for a ticket, and I was selling them to all my friends, and they were just coming I was getting 30 quid here, and then 3 hours later I was getting another 30 quid. So I was kind of dipping and dabbing into it, you know what I mean? So before I knew it, it was like 600 quid that was gone. and I was like, right, I'm just not going to go back. I don't know, I was just young and stupid basically, and then a while went by, and then Tom got the contract.